Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new playthrough I'm doing on this channel, Final Fantasy 14. So if you ask anybody, any of my friends, they would probably say that I'm a big Final Fantasy 14 fan. I'm not a big Final Fantasy fan, but Final Fantasy 14 I'm a fan of. I think on Steam I have over 300 hours on my profile. That's just on Steam. I think I started out on PlayStation. On PlayStation I have probably well over 500, so probably 800 hours overall in this game. This game is fantastic. So mostly what we're doing is playing through the MSQ, the main story, main quest, and then when I get to the raids, those side stories, I'll do those little side stories like the one in a realm reborn, the Crystal Tower, and then all the little stories that's in there. So let's get started.
Here. Here. Feel. Hear, feel, think.
Oi. You alright, lad? You were moaning in your sleep and sweating buckets besides. That'll be the ether, I reckon. Some are more prone to the sickness than others. No need to fret though. You'll soon get used to it. Feeling better, Cooper? Aha, you can see us. I had a feeling you could, Cooper. We're Mughals, and we live in this wood. Normal folks can't see or hear us, which makes it special, Cooper. And seeing as highly as special, maybe you can tell us something. The wood's been restless of late, lots of strange things happening. Have you chanced to witness anything suspicious, Kupo? But of course you haven't. You've only just arrived. Well, that's nothing for it then. We'll just have to keep looking. Nice to meet you, Kupo. Gudinion's still a fair way off in case you're wondering. Seeing as you're awake, how about you keep me company till we meet there? Them young'uns don't care for much conversation, see? We want the name and Palin's me trade. As for your good self-judging by your unusual garment, I'd say you're one of them new adventurers, am I warm? I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory, now that what I call living. So long as you can avoid dying, I mean, ain't no secret that adventuring's risky business these days, especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? Let's see. Gain power. Power, as in power to do good, like protecting the weak and fighting for what's right, and all that. Hey, I thought that's what you meant. Well, adventures do get up to a lot of fighting, that's for sure. You'll never be short of a chance to polish your warcraft in the venturing business. When you arrive in town, you best enroll at the Ventures Guild. They'll see you on the right path. And it wouldn't hurt to join a guild neither. Gudina is home to a few. So if you fancy learning how to fight with a bow, a polearm, or even spells, you should think about seeking one out. Just remember though, there's more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's for a fact. Halt, go no further. What's this then? Oh, what's going on? A skirmish has broken out ahead. With the exile, for your own safety, you must remain here until... Bloody hells, we shall hold them here, try to break clear. That was too bleeding close. Nice that they saw us in this and welcome party though, eh? Joking aside, this won't be the last time you meet those feathered fiends, so just you take care, alright? By the by, is this your first trip to Gudinion? No. About not, but I'll wager they've been some changes since your last visit. Allow a journey to teach you a few things about your destination. The Singing Gudania lies slap bang in the middle of the Black Shroud, the biggest, luscious forest in all of Eorzia. Though it ain't near as lush as it used to be, saying that not since the calamity laid half of it to waste. Destruction prompted a herd of new nasties to move in, gave the exile unneeded encouragement, birdsmen raided being a daily occurrence. At long last, behold Gudinion, the forest nation blessed by the elementals.
The Black Shroud, the ancient forest, close to the heart of Eorzia. Beneath the boughs of its towering trees lies the woodland city-state of Gridania. Once a sanctuary from the world beyond the hedge, even the mighty elementals, eternal guardians of the forest, could not forestall the coming of the seventh umbral era. However, the goddess Nofika was never one to forsake her children, and today she welcomes another brave soul. One who may yet play a telling role in the tale of this great realm.
And here's where we part ways, son. I'm off to the market to deliver me wares, and it's back to the high road for me. Here, I want you to have this. By way of thanks for keeping me company. Hey, you never did tell me your name, did you? Well, here's an idea. Become the sort of story personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider it square.
May the matron take him to her bosom, that he may never want. And in his heart, sow serenity, purity, and sanctity.
You there, yes you. The other face is not known to me. Newly come to the city, no doubt. I'm Batant, a woodwaller of the good Dinion. It is my duty to protect our nation from her enemies while welcoming those who may yet prove her friends. Let us see what you are. Man, it has been years since I've seen that opening. Let's get out through these tutorials. So, I chose a Vera as the character, went all anime boyish. I also chose, I'm gonna have to mess with these off camera. These buttons, but it doesn't really matter for right now. But man, that opening, it's been a while since I've seen that opening. But this is our character, Kiat Scarlet. Obviously, Scarlet for my name. Let's talk to Beat here. Damn these tutorials. Another green adventure, I presume. I thought as much. We can't allow strangers to wander Grenadier unchecked and untested. Before you rush off and begin pestering every second citizen for work, I suggest you make yourself known for the Carline Canopery. That's the headquarters of the local Adventures Guild, in case you were wondering. The Caroline Canopery is the building you see behind me. Speak to Mother Nun within, and she will take you in hand. And that quest accepting sound, oh, it's so nostalgia. I haven't heard that sound in 5 years probably. Oh man. Excuse me also for the misinterpretation of the names. These names are extremely hard to pronounce, so if I misinterpret one, please don't get mad at me. Well, what have we here? A wide-eyed and wondering young adventurer come to put your name down as at the guild, I assume. Welcome. Mayonne's my name, or Mother Mayonne as most call me, and the Caroline Canopy is my place. As the head of the Adventurers Guild in Gudinion, I have the honor of providing guidance to the fledgling heroes who pass through our gates. No matter your ambitions, the Guild is here to help you attain them. In return, we expect you to fulfill your duties as an adventurer by assisting the people of Gudinion. A fine deal, wouldn't you agree? To the outsider's eye, all may seem well with our nation, but naught could be further from the truth. The people live in a state of constant apprehension. The exile and various gangs of common bandits provide an unending supply of trouble, compounded by the ever-present threat of Gallian Empire to the north, and that is to say nothing of the calamity. Even now, their wounds have barely begun to heal. But I speak of it as if you were there. Forgive me. 5 years passed, so Eorzia was well nigh laid to waste with the dread worm emerged from within the lesser moon, Dalamerd, and rained fire upon the realm. It is this which people call the calamity. That's strange. I always thought it was Berlamot that they were fighting in the beginning. Scarcely a square mile of the 12 words that was spared by devastation, yet despite the four's extensive wounds, not a soul among us can recall precisely how it all happened. I am well aware of how improbable that must sound to an outsider. It is very improbable, but it's also true. For reasons we can ill explain, the facts surrounding the calamities are shrouded in mystery. There are many versions of events, as there are people willing to recount them. Yet, amidst the hazy recollection and conflicting accounts, all agree on one thing: that Eorzia was saved from certain doom by a band of valiant adventurers. Whoever else we've misremembered, none of us have forgotten the heroes who risked life and limb for the sake of the realm, and yet, whenever we try to say the names, the words die upon our lips. And whenever we try to call the faces to mind, we see naught but silhouettes amidst the blinding glare. Thus have these adventures come to be known as the Warrior of Light. Pray do not feel daunted by deeds of legend. We do not ask that you become another Warrior of Light, only that you do what you can to assist the people of Gudinion. Great or small, every contribution counts. I trust you will play your part. All that's left then is to conclude the business of registration. Here's a quill. Square your name right there. And I would appreciate if you use your real name. There's a special place in the seventh hell for those who use amusing alias. Kid Scarlet, huh? And you're quite sure that isn't an amusing alias? Very well, from this moment forward, you're a should adventure of Gudinion, nation blessed of the elementers and bounty of the 12 words. The guilds expect great things from you. Look, and what just arrived, another god's damned adventure. Don't you start with that. Adventures are the very salve that Gudinians need. The elder Eorzia herself bade us welcome them with open arms. Do you mean to disregard her will? Of course not. Lest you forget, it is a sworn duty to uphold the peace. Am I to blame if outsiders bring mistrust upon themselves? You, adventurer, mind you do not cause any trouble here, or I shall personally cast you out of this realm into the seventh hell. Pay that outburst, not mine. He meant only to console you. Suspicious characters have been pawned the 12 words of late, you see, and the woodwallers feel that they cannot afford to take any chances. As it is often that way with folks who live in isolation. Gudinians are wont to mistrust things they do not well know, your good self included, fear not. However, your catalog of exemplary deeds, no more of handful years locally will securely welcome you. Oh, my bad. On behalf of my fellow citizens, I welcome you to Gudinyon. May you come to consider our nation as your own in time. Now then, you may depend on Old Mother Moon to teach you a few things that every adventurer should know. So, if you don't know, Final Fantasy XIV, it had, when it originally released with patch 1.0, it wasn't very received all too well. Oh, hold on a second. Let us begin at the beginning, shall we? Now that you're a former member of the Adventurers Guild, we must be sure that you have the firm grasp of the fundamentals of venturing. To that end, I have 3 tasks I wish you to perform. Your first task is to visit the Aetheryte. The massive crystal stands in the middle of Aetheryte Plaza, not from the Caroline Canopy. As a device that enables instantaneous transportation, the Aetheryte plays a key role in the life of an ever-wanting adventurer. Once you have located the crystal, all you need to do is touch its surface. A member of the Woodwallers will be present to offer further instructions. For the second task, you have to visit the Lancers Guild. There's no better place to learn the arts of the polearm and speak to. For the third and final task, I would have you visit the mart at the heart of the Old Canadians commercial district. There you will find weapons, armor, and other various items that an adventurer might need on his travels. There is, however, more to market than buying and selling. Speak with Possum Montret and listen well to his console. The Master Merchant can be uncooperative at times, to be sure. To offer him one of my famous ale spies. Like some of your men, he is much more charitable when his stomach is full. Here, I made a batch not long ago. You have your task here. May the Picard guide your path. One more thing. Should you happen to come across any citizens in need, don't be afraid to proffer a helping hand. I'm certain they will be pleased to meet an adventurer whom they can confide their woes. Granted, they work to offer too unlikely to be their realm sharing importance, but prove your worth and build your reputation, and in time folk will be more inclined to entrust you with matters and moments. I also suggest that you lend an ear to the Smith and the Canopy. The Smiths are entrusted and representative of the Adventurers Guild on an invaluable source of advice for the fight heroes seeking to obtain greatness. Okay. That was a lot of talking. Yeah, no tutorials. Yeah. So, a lot of these first parts of Realm Reborn, damn, my game is lagging. But a lot of Realm Reborn and Heaven's Ward will probably be a lot of talking stuff, especially Realm Reborn. So attend this. So if you may or may not know, as I was saying, hold on a second. Readings of interest. You are faithfully following Mother Moon's instructions. Allow me to offer a bit of instructions myself. I am the Sea of the Wood Wallers, and I know a thing or two about the Aetheryte. Yes, that big crystal right there. Aetherytes are devices that tap into ethereal energies and are primarily used as a means to travel swiftly from one place to another. Return and teleport, the most common transportation spell, make direct use of the Aetheryte and the connection to the flows of ether. And as these devices are found in almost every corner of the Eorzia, any adventurer worthy of the name will wish to seek out and attune himself to each one. Truly, a few things in this world are useful as an intrepid explorer. But you need to not locate them all at once before rushing out into the wilds. I suggest you start with the threat found here in Gudinion. Should you wish to learn more about it, blah blah blah. Okay, so as I was saying, when this game released back in, what, I believe maybe it was 2011, this game was not received well whatsoever. You know, it was not the most selling game of that year, but it's hard to complain. I'm pretty sure that's the same year that Fallout New Vegas also released, so it had its competition. But this game did start picking up its popularity with the release of patch 2.0, which completely overhauled the game. And hold on a second again. But right, does a fledgling fisher presume to address possum whatever modestly the markets? You think you show her and bold as she plays in the man my heart and knowledge? Ha, a merchant does not for naught, especially when dealing with would-be heroes. If on the other hand you have some tasty morsel to carry my flavor and I might come on, this whole encounter speaks of blah blah blah. That flaky crust just divine. Well, very well, I am a man of my word. But I close attention, for I shall only explain this once. The expiring adventures need look no further than the rosewood and ebony stalls, both are but a short stroll from where we stand. If you mean to do better, you best be prepared with a quality set of weapons and armor. Such good are the province of... this is all I should explain. The marketplace. Anyway, so when patch 2.0, which is Overwhelming Born, came out, that's when this game picked up popularity. But unlike now, where you can play through each expansion, you play through Overwhelming Born and Heaven's Ward, blah blah blah, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, and Endwalker. You can play them in order. They completely took out patch 1.0, which is what happens before the Calamity, which is what she was talking about in that cutscene that you showed in the beginning. Blah blah blah, guild receptionist. I gotta accept this, I'm pretty sure, to be part of the guild. Enlist in the guild. We can pick up first quest here from the guild. Combat adventure, understand to Lancer. Blah. Though you doubtless finish his spear before this day, and perhaps even in the inner, she start along with it. Basically, this guy's just telling us that he's gonna train us. And yes, we'll resolve the Atlanta. Alright. But, like I was saying, they completely took out patch 1.0 and with its story. So, if you pick up the game now, it'll give you tidbits of what patch 1.0 was about. I mean, it honestly, to overall the story and the saga from Realm 1 to Endwalker, it's not all too important, but I feel like they should have still added it, because there's a very, I forget his name, but the guy who teleported our character 5 years into the future. I mean, I'm sure once we meet Ishtola, I think she mentions him. So, but that was a very important part of the story that they should have kept in. Like I said, it's not overly important to the plot of these and the the story saga of the Asians and the all the rest of it. But to me, I never got to play it, so I'm a little salty. I never did get to play it. If they did like a thing like what the WoW did, where they released like classic Final Fantasy 14, man, I'm pretty sure they would make a ton of money if they did that. But like Blizzard did when they released classic WoW. And also combat early on is very simple. We're just gonna poke these squirrels here. Can I turn off? Hold on a second, let me cut this real quick. Okay, I think that fixed it. I'm trying to turn off the tutorials because tutorials are rather annoying when you already know how to play the game. And I don't think I might have turned them off, but let's see. And also, I'm dedicated to playing through all Realm Reborn, but the real story doesn't really pick up until later into the Realm Reborn. I mean, there's parts of it that is good, but the main like meat and potatoes of the story doesn't really pick up until, I would suggest, the very end. This beginning of the game is literally just it's basically showing you the world and laying the groundworks for what is the story later on. And I am also excited to try out some of the new, also not new, but the Detective the Crystal Tower. So I never played it. I forgot completely what the story of the Crystal Tower was. So I'm excited to experience that again. I wonder if these are actually new players or they're just trying to level an altar class. I mean, they got the sprout like I did, which is also a thing that Final Fantasy does very well, is new player experience. I feel like it does better in WoW. Like I think a year ago when Dragonflight came out, I tried playing WoW. And let me preface this, I feel like WoW gotten better at the new play experience, but it's not the best, I would say. Like when what was the expansion that came out right before Dragonflight? It was Shadowlands, right? Hold on a second, hold that thought. Conquering Head returns. You have completed my little task of trust. The 3 locations you visit will feature prominently in your life as an adventurer. You took the time to listen to the words of the century. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to tend to your talents, no matter how trivial you may seem. Yeah, we finished the quest. Like I was saying, oh, now high left level. So let's go turn in this quest, and we'll call it done for episode 1 of this very long journey. But like I was saying, I went back to play not Final Fantasy, but WoW, and a few like a year ago, whenever Shadowlands came out, because I was watching like Tim the Tatman and all these people saying like, oh, they're lowering the level gap to I think 50 when you can start the actual expansion. And I got my own gripes about that, because like this game you can jump right in. It's over Realm Reborn. Like obviously you won't be able to start like later expansions like Shadowbringers or Endwalker until you get to level 80 and 90, or I think it's 70 and 80. But still, at least there's like ways, like a story that builds up to that in that game. all you have to do, all you can do to level up to level 50, or at least it's now 60, because you have to do Dragonflight, is go kill mobs, like grind out mobs and grind out dungeon stuff. Which I prefer this system way more. So you're back. I trust you learn something of the essence of our arts. Atlanta learns best when he is doing each task making stronger. Such things are strategy. You look to your hands of doubt. Firstly, just complimenting us. Alright. Well, that brings a close to part 1. Thank you for watching, and I shall catch you in the next one. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you like what you see, and I will catch you in the next one.